Today, Adrian and I will be covering one of the many required Supreme Court cases from the AP Government class and exam, Wisconsin versus Yoder. This case all started in the great state of Wisconsin, where a group of Amish fathers, Jonas Yoder, Wallace Miller, and Aidan Yutzi, had all flat out refused to enroll their children in a public high school after concluding their middle school years. They argued that due to their religious beliefs, their children attending a public high school went against their spiritual beliefs and were contrary to their overall way of life. Additionally, the Amish believed that attending a high school did not prepare them for the Amish way of life that they intended to live out for the rest of their lives. Refusing to enroll their children in high school, all the fathers were convicted and each fined $5 for violating Wisconsin's compulsory school attendance law, which required all children in the state to attend school at least until the age of 16 years old. As you may expect, they didn't take to this too kindly and started the process to legally go against the decision of their local district court in Wisconsin. Enraged by the fine, in retaliation, the fathers appealed the decision to the Wisconsin Circuit Court. However, it was unsuccessful since the Circuit Court upheld the previous conviction, stating that the state compulsory attendance law was a reasonable and constitutional use of government power. They once again appealed that verdict to the Supreme Court of Wisconsin, arguing that the verdict was a direct violation of the Amish's First Amendment rights of freedom of speech and free expression of religion. An important question was ultimately considered. Did Wisconsin's requirement that all parents send their children to school until at least age 16 violate the First Amendment by criminalizing the conduct of parents who refuse to send their children to school for religious reasons?
Two different ideological perspectives were at odds when it came to this case: religious freedom and compulsory education. The Amish argued that they should be able to remove their children from the public school system after the 8th grade because they believed that it contradicted their lifestyle and would ultimately damage their overall beliefs and faith. Because of this reasoning, they stated that Wisconsin had violated their First Amendment rights. However, on the other hand, Wisconsin argued that a public education through high school was necessary for every student to be prepared for the real world and whatever it entailed. Ultimately, the high school experience for these kids would be beneficial and regarded as such for the rest of their lives. In the court's examination of the Amish religion, they discovered that the Amish had always been independent with their religious beliefs and have been so for centuries. The court agreed that attending high school would expose Amish children to new beliefs and perspectives that would ultimately conflict with their faith and interfere with their traditional way of life. The Supreme Court ruled that an individual's pursuit of religion under compliance with the First Amendment overtook the state's interest in obligating any school attendance beyond the 8th grade. Although the decision did not explicitly take over any past precedents, it follows the decision of the Supreme Court case Pierce v. Society of Sisters, which ruled to give the liberty to the parents over education of the children and allow them to attend private schools, even though the Compulsory Attendance Act obligated all children to attend public schools from the ages of 8 through 16. The decision of Wisconsin v. Yoder was made unanimously by the Burger Court with a ruling of 7-0, apart from Justices William Rehnquist and Lewis F. Powell, who did not participate in the final decision.
Now, why does this case even matter? Well, this Supreme Court case would ultimately and forever change the way government and the states would look at the First Amendment, more specifically, the right to freedom of religion. The verdict of this case had many thinking of where exactly do the rights of the states and the Constitution separate and merge. Using this case as a precedent for many future cases, it set a bold tone on where the line was drawn, separating the interests of the states and the constitutional rights granted to every citizen for their freedom to express their personal religion. Due to this decision, there have been many more cases who have used this verdict to help the jury and judge make a decision, since it had been reconfirmed that the freedom to express your religion was a protected right. An example of what is now possible is that many people are now homeschooled after parents used this case to express their rights and keep their child from attending high school because it did not coincide with their own beliefs. Alright, thank you for watching this presentation on this important and monumental Supreme Court case that would forever change the way that people would look at the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America.